And we are live. This is an unannounced, spur of the moment live. So I am going to talk about, while we're waiting for people to come on, we're going to talk about the giveaways that are going on. And we have the Cricut Crafter's Choice. You can win a $100 Cricut coupon code for shopping at cricut.com. And it is available for USA and Canada residents. We are giving away one each week, November the 10th, the 17th, and December the 8th. Hi, Shirley. And you can scan that QR code and it will take you over to the site and allow you to be able to see all the details there. Hi, Melissa. People are starting to come on. This is, like I said, spur of the moment live. Have a couple of minutes before it's actually scheduled to be live at 10 after 12. But we're just talking about, hi, Christine. We're talking about the giveaways that are going on this month while we wait on people to jump on this live. Just a fun, cute, little fun craft for you guys today. We're going to cut it together and everything. If you look below in the description of the video, I did include the link to the file, and it is also on my profile in Designspace. If you want to go there and get it that way, hopefully I don't know if YouTube is going to allow me to post my link to that. But both of those links, to my profile and to the file, are down below. Let me try to do the file here for you guys in chat. See if it'll take that one. That one it took. So there is the link to the design if you guys want to do that. Guys, this Crafter's Choice, I set this up for you so that you could choose what design you wanted to use, what image you wanted to use out of Designspace, what type of project you wanted to do. You're not limited to paper or vinyl or iron-on. You can pick whatever you want as long as you use one Cricut product and any Access image, free or paid from your Access subscription. Doesn't matter. So it's open to everybody in USA and Canada. And guys, using your Cricut watercolor pens, yes, that is a Cricut product. So you can do whatever you want. Use your watercolor pens, use infusible inks, use iron-on, you name it, as long as it's a Cricut product. And it's going to repeat like every other week so that you guys, on these 3 dates, so that you guys can have time to do a project and get entered. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. And of course, in December, you have from now until December to enter for the December auto press giveaway. Who wants an auto press for Christmas? Lots of fun. So let me play the intro, guys, and we're going to go ahead and get started. And happy birthday to all of our November members. I love mine too, Shirley. Those things are just awesome, off the chart awesome. And here's our calendar. Again, make sure you guys are subscribing. You have your notifications turned on because, like today, I am doing some random lives over the next couple of months that will not be on the calendar, simply because I don't know what days I will have time to go live and what days I won't. I still have a lot going on here. So I am throwing in a bunch of random lives. Don't forget, your time goes back on Sunday. Hopefully they're going to end this, from what I've heard on the news, they're going to end daylight savings time in November of 23. If it goes through. I don't know if it's going through or not, but hopefully, because that really messes up my biological clock. I don't know about you guys. All right, so make sure the calendar and the giveaways, all of that are in the group, both groups, Cricut Crafting with April and the Cricut Maker Projects group, in the pinned featured post. Guys, make sure you're checking those, because Patreon doesn't let me post things like this or things like this. I cannot post them on Patreon. They will not allow it. They will shut down my Patreon if I do. So make sure that you're checking the site and you're checking those. I can't message or anything about those. So make sure you're checking that. And the current sale, there are links down below. 50% off materials and accessories. Make sure you're checking that out. And as I mentioned last night, the group code is cuties. You must spend $100 subtotal in eligible merchandise before that code will kick in. Guys, just add the code. All you have to do is add the code to your cart, and as soon as it becomes qualified, it will kick in for you. So it doesn't hurt to let it just sit there in the cart. But you must use my links. If you're using the links from within Designspace and Cricut Access, that does not earn me any commission. I do get a small commission if you use my links, and I greatly appreciate your support on that. All right, so here we are. Here is our design. Now, I kind of beefed up. Let me get in here. There we go. We'll customize. I used a box that was on, I think, Bags, Tags, Boxes, and More image set. And I just changed the size of it. And then I found a free gift, and I changed it from a gift to using the pens with watercolor. And I wanted to show you a little bit about how I did that. And then the circles that I put on the box with watercolor pen were simply just that. I just got a shape, and I made a circle and duplicated it and made it a couple of sizes. And I changed it from that to a pen. And then I changed that to my marker and went and found my watercolor marker and selected it. Then I just sized that down and I duplicated it and made it a different size, and these are probably not the same sizes. And then I duplicated it a few times. And once I did that, I'm just going to slide this out of the way. I just distributed it over the top of the box where I wanted them, singly, just place them about, okay? Once I had that done, also before you do that, you might want to just duplicate it again and bring those in and change that one to green just to make it easy for you so you don't have to do them one by one on the next one, so that you have them in the same sizes and you're distributing them about. That's all I did. And once I had them all mixed up and set like I wanted them with the red, I selected them and I actually went in and I did a weld. I welded my pens together, okay, so that they stayed in one big group, just like this. And then once you have all your green in place, you'll want to move your red out of the way, of course, and select all your green and then weld those. So if you want to change the shape, redo the box, it's something that you want to do, then you can do it that way and weld them. Once I welded them, I then attached them together, the green and the red. I attached them together and then placed them on top of the box, selected the box, and attached it. Is everybody with me on that? And yes, I'm using a brown paper. I am using Cricut craft board to do this with. It was an experiment, and I really liked the way that it turned out. So I wanted to share that with you guys. But to do that gift, I want to show you how you can do that. So go to your images, and you can search gift. And then we're going to select free. And this is the one that I chose with 2 ribbons and the ribbon on the top, and select it. And I'm just going to move this down out of the way so that we can play with it. I'm not going to resize it or anything here at this point. I'm just going to come in and get a shape, and I'm going to get a square because I'm going to need it. And I'm going to size that up, and I want it to go all the way across that just in case I miss a little bit. And I'm going to line that up there. Now I'm just going to hide that. I am going to take this piece right here, and we're going to create our offset. And I just left it rounded at 0.25. I might have gone down just a little bit on it, like that. Oops. Let's see. That's good enough. So make it the size that you want. And then I changed that to the color of the tag because that's what I was going to use. And I'm going to hide my tag, and I'm going to bring that square back. And then I'm going to slice these two. And I'm going to get rid of this trash. And I'm left with these two pieces. Now you can see that I didn't quite hit it. I've got a little bit of a lump there, and I don't want that. So I'm just going to undo. And I'm going to bump that down. I'm just going to use my arrow key and bump it down just slightly. And slice it again. You want that to be even. Did I make it this time? Nope. Maybe if I arrange, send that to the back. There we go. And then slice it. Same thing, just getting a smooth top. And I got it. So there we go. I'm going to get rid of that trash. I just want that to be smooth. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate that. And we're going to align those center. Okay, and I'm just going to take the top one, and I am going to contour, and I'm going to take out the box on the top. I'm going to take that out. I just want the two lines, and I'm going to come in and change those to a pen, and I am going to change those to marker, and I'm going to change those to red. Those are going to be my red ribbon lines. I'm going to change this one, the bow at the top, to pen, go to marker, and we're going to bring that down and change it to watercolor. Okay, super easy and simple. I'm going to place it right back down on top of that box where I think I like it, and I'm going to come over to the layers panel, and I'm going to select the two slice results I've changed to pen, and I am going to weld. You can combine if you prefer. It's totally up to you. Hi, Marianne. And then we're going to take the second box that we have here, and we're just going to change that to pen. And we are going to come down. Oops, we're going to change that to pen, but I forgot we have to contour it. We're going to take out the two lines on this one. We just want the box on this part. And then we're going to change that pen to the marker. And we're going to get our watercolor and make it green. Make it whatever color you want, and then we're going to select all of these and attach. Now I'm going to come over here and we're going to unhide that offset, and we're going to align center if you moved it. If you didn't move it, you won't have to do that. And you can see that my red is touching that green just a little bit, and I don't want to have it do that. So I am going to come in here, and because I welded instead of combining or uniting, I'm going to duplicate it, and we're going to contour. So there is a way around it if you forget to do that. We're going to get rid of the bow itself, and then I'm going to come over here on this one. Oops, I did the wrong one. I want to get rid of the lines on that one, but that's okay. I'm going to hide all contours, and then we'll bring that back. So now I have my bow, and then on this one here, I am going to contour it and hide the bow. And then I'm just going to bring this down and bring it in. I want it centered in there, but I don't want my lines to touch, my watercolor lines, because I don't want them to muddy. I'm going to have to bring that in so I can see it. So there I have it. It's just above it, so I'm just going to pull it up just a little bit more. There we go. That's perfect. Just want to give it some space in there so that when those pens, it's okay if they touch a little bit, but when I watercolor, I want to give myself a little bit of space. So then I'm just going to attach those. And let's take this back down. And that's how I created my little tag. And then you can size it to whatever you need to size, what size you want to make it. And I'll show you the size that I did. I'm going to take that out of there. I'm not going to save it into the file. I just brought it down under here after I sized it to the size that I wanted. And I attached it to the box so that those layers, it wouldn't try to put it way up here because you can see that square. So when it goes over to the mat, it's going to stick it somewhere outside this bounding box, okay? And I want it to cut within that to save paper. So I just brought it in and attached it so that it would go to the mat as one piece. Is everybody with me on that? Anybody have any questions on how I created this? And again, the box is right out of Access. Let's see. It's the cake box. And that's the image number M33425. And all I did was size it up to the max size at 11.5 on its width. That's all I did to that box. I didn't do anything else to it except attach my watercolor pen. And I can't see my face. If anybody's on Facebook, if you're chatting, I apologize. I can't see. I'm trying to get here where I can see my chat. Nope, it's just not giving me my chat window. I'll try to get that fixed. So if you're wanting to chat, make sure that you are on. If you're on Facebook, I appreciate you being on Facebook. I just can't see you today. I'm not ignoring you. I promise. So let's pop over to the overhead. And actually, I think I'm going to show you guys the machine too. There we go. Hopefully, nope, that's the overhead and design space. That's not what I want. There we go. So you can see my machine up here. And all I've got, I've done my box, and here's my little tag. And so you can flip it over and write to and from on there. Super fun and cute. Super easy for neighbor treats and stuff like that. I am using Cricut craft board. You can use a regular craft board or something like that. But I wanted something thick because it's getting wet with watercolor. It's not going to be a ton of water, but it is going to be a little bit. So let's go here. And we're going to hit Make It. And you can see that it goes on one sheet. And we're going to hit Continue. And let me see if I can make... I don't know if I can make my machine a little bit bigger. I tried, but it's not going to let me. I'm going to select Craft Board right here. It's one of my favorites. If you don't have it saved as a favorite, you can browse all materials right here and look up your craft board. And it's right here. You can select it and hit Done. And then I am using my maker, so it's going to ask me to use my double scoring wheel. And that's going to help prevent cracking when you fold it. You may get a little cracking, but it will help reduce some of that. Hi, Kathy. Yes, Marianne, it makes a very nice, substantial box. If you're giving these for gifts for Christmas, let me put it over. If you're giving these and putting cookies and things like that in them, you want it to have a good weight. You don't want it to collapse under the weight of brownies or candied nuts and things like that. So super fun little box, but I'm using craft board to give it that substance that I feel like it needs when you're giving a gift like that. And it's telling me here to, I'm going to use a little bit more pressure because it cut fine before, but I just want to be sure since it's a very well used blade. Load my red watercolor pen and my double scoring wheel. So we need to get my double scoring wheel, and I'm just going to change that out, put that in the clamp, and then I need my red watercolor pen, and we're going to put that in this clamp. And then we're going to load the mat. Guys, when you're loading your mat, especially if you're new, make sure that you're under the guides. You want to spread these out unless you're using 2x2 mats or using foils, things like that. You guys know the drill on those. That one's a little tight. There we go. All right. So you want to spread out your star wheels. Make sure that you've got it under the guides on each side, and you're holding that mat up against these two rollers. Because if you don't, it's going to take your mat in sideways, or it's not going to count this space up here, and then it can cut up above your material. So make sure you're holding it when you hit this load button, and let it take that mat out of your hand. Yes, peanut brittle. These would be great for peanut brittle. And now it's flashing. I'm going to hit the go button, and we're going to let that score. Does anybody have any questions about how we got to this point on creating the project? My chat's a little bit behind. I'm still trying to get my Facebook chat. That's driving me crazy. I'm scared to click a button. I'm scared I'll end my live. I don't want to do that either. See if I can get it up on my phone, wherever that may have landed. All right, and now it's asking me to load my green pen, so we're going to take the red one out, and we're going to load in our green watercolor pen and press the go. Hey, Cherie from Washington. I have my Facebook chat now. Yay. Okay. So now it wants to cut. So I'm going to take my pen out. We're going to take that double score out. We're going to put our blade in. And we're going to hit go again. This is really a pretty quick project. Guys, shopping links are down below. If you need craft board, because the Cricut craft board cuts really, really, really well. It cuts better than, even though it's thicker, it cuts better than your normal craft cardstock. And I forgot to tell you guys, I did slice a little hole in the area of the ribbon on the tag so that we could tie it on. I didn't show you that when I did the tutorial. I forgot it. If you need help with that, let me know. But the file itself, it's already done. And craft board does cut twice. It makes a trip around 2 times. Alright, and now we're just going to unload the mat. And then I'm going to switch cameras and we're going to come over to... There we go. So I'm just going to leave mine on my mat while I do my watercolor. To me, it's just easier. And you're going to put water in your watercolor pen. All right. And I don't want this to be super, super, super wet because this is not watercolor paper. And if you've got a lot of water coming out, it's going to stand up on the top. And I'm just kind of coloring in on the circles. I want it to be definitive, but I do want color on the inside once it dries, okay? So I'm just getting a tiny bit of color in there. And I'm just going to do all the red ones first. This is something that would be great for the kids to do so that you can include them in the holiday fun. And you can put as much or as little as you want as far as the color goes in here. That's totally up to you. And if you feel like you're not getting enough color, I just kind of rub the tip of the pen, and then I can dab in a little bit more color if I want to. Super, super simple. All right, and then I'm just going to clean it off, and then I'm going to do the green. And again, I'm not getting this real wet. I want it to show watercolor, but not saturated. And it's okay if you go outside the lines. This is supposed to look like a handmade Christmas. They don't have to be perfectly in the lines. And then I'm, again, cleaned it off. I'm just using a baby wipe to get that color out. And then I'm going to do my bow. And again, you can bring in as much or as little color as you want. And again, if I feel like I'm not getting enough color, I'm just putting some of the color on from the pen, because I am not using watercolor paper, guys. If you're using watercolor paper, you're going to get that color to pull a little bit better. Again, this is craft board, not watercolor paper. It will still pull the color. It's just kind of hard to see because you're not on white paper. All right, so then I'm just going to come in here, and I used a little bit more water on the green parts just to get it to pull in a little bit. Basically right now just getting that craft board wet, good and wet. And then I went in with the same method and put some color, some extra color onto that tip and pulled it in. And I'm not going to do this whole thing on this one. Well, maybe I will. Why not? But you can work with these outside of watercolor paper. You just have to play around with it. And it's dragging in some green there. It's going to be hard to see on camera, but I wanted some darker around the edge, so that's why I did mine that way. And then I'm just going to clean my watercolor brush off and store it. Super easy and simple. That will dry fairly quickly as well. And right here is where the hole is sliced in there, so that you have that. And then your box. Right, Marianne? Me too. Did you do it on the white craft board yet, Marianne? On the white, your watercolor is going to show up a lot more, but in person you can see it. It's really hard to get it on camera. Oh, I missed one. But you can get it in there. This is just a large, massive area for something that's not watercolor, so I wanted to pull in some extra color, so you can do that. Just be aware that if you take too much color from there, you'll have to write on something to get your color flowing back down to the tip, because you can suck too much color out of the tip of it if you're not careful. All right, so we have score lines, and we're going to start with this one right here, and we're going to give that a press, and then we have one here, give that a press, down this side, down this side, and then our base. Now, how you do this is going to be up to you. I use the bottom as where it opens, but you're going to have to use a piece of tape or something. On this one I used decorative washi tape, and I left a little tab so that they would be able to pull it. Okay, because I just felt like it did better by gluing the side. You could glue this bottom right here, glue these two, and then use this for the open if you want. Totally up to you which way you do this, okay? So you can either glue these two this way and open it from the bottom, or you can glue this tab and this tab here and then open from the side. That's totally your preference, okay? I am going to get a good length of ribbon. Probably don't need this much, but I am going to put my ribbon in first, just because it's easier, and just let it hang to the outside, okay? And then I'm going to put my glue on this tab and this tab. All right, and then I'm just going to bring that in at the top and on this side. There it goes. Get that top lined up. That's what it is. I did not design this box. If you're doing this side, I'm going to trim that off. It's in the way. There we go. Much better. So trim off that curve right on the top of that flap so you don't have to fight it, and you get a good crisp seal up here. See the difference? I didn't do it on this one, and it's off a little bit. Again, I didn't design this, so trimming that off gave me a much smoother seam there. Okay, super easy and simple. Now we're going to get our tag. I got this stuff going everywhere. This is just some thread-like twine. It's come unwound. I'm just going to cut a section off for this. And you can put the tag on before or after. And you can put your goodies inside and then close that up. That's even closing much better without any tape. But when you get the heavy goodies in there, you're going to need to tape it. And I'm just going to tie the bow. Now you can do this two ways. You can tie a bow here. You can do a loop where you can hang it on their door. Totally up to you if you want to do it that way. I like the bow on the top. My fumbly fingers will work. I have an arthritis flare-up in my left hand. It's really, I've been in pain for a month. So we're going to tweak our bow a little bit. Get it like you want it. All right, and then I trimmed mine off on the side. Like so. And then I did a loop. I looped my twine and ran it through the little hole in the bow or the gift and pulled that too. And just so that it stayed in place, this twine is very thin. I tied a small half knot just to keep it in place. And then take one side of this and run it into the ribbon here. Just like so. Just run it up underneath your ribbon. And decide how low you want it to hang or how high you want it to hang. Get your loops out of it, depending where you want it. And then that's where I want my knot. Of course, you'll write to and from on it. Well, I said I was going to tie a knot in that. That's good. And then I'm going to trim that off. Super cute, easy, simple. How fun is that? And then once you've got your goodies in there, I fold my washi tape over just so that I can easily pull it off. I'm just going to pull a little length off of it, cut it off, and then of course, so that I can come back to it later. Fold that over again. But I'm going to leave that tab on there when I tape it so that they have a way to pull that off without picking at the box and messing it up. Okay? Super fun and simple. How cute! All right, something that you can do with the kids. You may have to help them with tying the bows and that kind of thing, but they can actually you can put your stuff in your cellophane and then tie it with your wire ties or whatever you use, pipe cleaners. Put that inside, let them do that and tape it shut. You may have to help them with some bows, but super easy, fun, and simple. Something they can join in with. Thank you. All right, does anybody have any questions? Any Design Space questions? Anything you need help with? Don't forget to make sure you like, subscribe, share, and get in on that these random lives that we're going to be doing. I'm going to try, I'm not going to promise, but I'm going to try to be live on Monday as well. Going to try to do that. I will also try to be live on Veterans Day. Oh, Monday's my anniversary. My husband's probably not going to be home, but 21 years. All right, if nobody has any questions, let me check over here on my Facebook. Hi, Pamela, Michael, over on Facebook. If you guys have any questions, make sure that you get them asked. Ask in the group. We're happy to help. I have missed you guys too, Shirley. It's the ordeal is not over, but I'm clawing my way out one day at a time. So, thank you guys. Appreciate that. 21 years. It's hard to believe. It doesn't really seem that long. I guess when it's right, it's easy, right? All right, guys. You have a happy Friday. Have a great weekend. If I can, I may do a pop-up live during the weekend, but I'm not going to promise. I'm still working on files and all of that kind of stuff and projects for the next couple of months for you guys, so that you have plenty to do for the holidays. Lots of things. We may do I may do a table decor. Are you guys interested in that? Doing maybe a centerpiece where we use our Cricut, but we use other mediums too, if you're interested. And I have a couple of other neighbor gift ideas too that I'm kicking around. So I may do one of those this week or this weekend. We'll see. All right, don't forget those giveaways, guys. Make sure that you're entering for those. All the details under that QR code on both of those. You would, Kathy? Okay. I'll work on that centerpiece idea and get that. Well, I've already been working on it, but I'll get it finalized. I make sure that I get it like I want it to do my test cuts, and we'll do something like that. All right, guys. You have a wonderful day. I'll catch you on the next video. If I don't see you before then, make sure that you are subscribed for Thursday's scheduled lives. Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Those are scheduled. Happy crafting!